Hi guys, welcome to Typecast Heroes. Welcome back. I'm Jessie Miller.
And I'm Amanda Fulgelson. And we just wanted to give you guys a little update on this project. So if you guys have followed us since our start, which was
May 4th.
May 4th, seems like it was a lifetime ago. But we posted a video called Welcome Back to Typecast Heroes. So please go watch that. It still has more information than what you're probably going to get in this particular video. But in that video, we explained what Typecast Heroes is, what we are doing, why we are doing it, and we just kind of wanted to give you guys a quick update in this video. So this is more of like a project update, if you will. And that being said, just a little bit of background on this project. If you haven't watched Welcome to Typecast Heroes, we are basically just following our passion, and we are just doing it at full strength and trying our best to change the world and to make it a better place, as silly as that could possibly sound to some people. So with that being said, something that Jessie and I are very passionate about is typology, and it's about learning yourself and others, and also having a language to use to explain why you think the way you think, why you make the decisions that you make, and just how you function as a human being. We have found through knowing our types and knowing the types of people who are around us and who we love, that we communicate so much better and so much more effectively. And it's just made us kinder people and just more understanding, and we give grace to everyone around us. We try, we're not perfect. Close, but not quite. And so we really just wanted to kind of pop on here and first of all say thank you so much for all of the support that you guys have already given us. We say this in every video, and please know that it is not just a thanks to say thanks because we should. It's a thanks because this is life-changing for us and for so many people who we are talking to on a daily basis. So thank you. Seriously, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. And thank you for the support. Thank you for sharing, for liking, subscribing. Even if you're one of the silent types and you've just been watching behind the scenes and learning, still thank you so much for being here. It just means the world to us. With that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Jessie so she can explain the actual ins and outs of the project and what this really looks like in like a practical sense.
So, yes, I'm not good at feelings, but so this project, if you saw Welcome to Typecast Heroes, it started really in January. Amanda was encouraging me to go into other groups and to look at other types and to see how they were, and that's when I started noticing these patterns. And the whole time she's been encouraging me to follow my dreams, and I'm getting like, she was talking, I was trying really hard
She's getting emotional.
to not get emotional because I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said I wish that I had an any user in my life because she encouraged me to move, and I couldn't have done it without her. Gross. This is gross. Anyway.
This is so gross. This is not us normally.
No. Actually it was the other day.
It has been the past few days, yeah.
But when it started, I was just going into groups and asking people if they would answer questions, and then we crossed 1,000 the other day. And so when I say that, that's actually inaccurate. So I have been encouraged by many to tell the actual number. So I have spoken to over 3,000 people, but for whatever reason, I can't always use all of the interviews. For one, when I was starting, I didn't have a strong focus yet of what I wanted, and so I can't use those. And then I can't use ones where people whose English is too broken sometimes, or if their answers are too short, I can't use those. Or if they are, sometimes people will mention things that are really traumatic, and actually part of one of the US federal guidelines for the surveys, which I have researched all of the laws and all of the research that I'm allowed to do, and part of that is you can't ask something that could be considered psychologically triggering. And so if somebody shares something in their interview that could be considered that way, I can't use those. And and anybody under 18, which that has not happened very often. I think there's maybe 5, but just in case. And then also if somebody is very clearly not their type, I set those aside, so I don't put them into the official database. And so this is a question I get asked all the time, is why don't I just tell them they're not their type? So according to the code of so the Myers-Briggs type code of ethics is, if somebody disagrees with their typing, you're not supposed to push it on them. And actually the same goes for Jungian analysts. So unless somebody specifically asks, or if I'm working on with someone on a type journey, which has happened, I can't correct them. So I don't. So I can't use all of the ones that we get. But we did cross 1,000 officially. I think we're at 1,031 as of this morning. And that's in over 80 countries. So six out of 7 continents. Obviously Antarctica is not going to happen, but it's been crazy. But the point of this is yes, to thank you, but also to say, be patient on the final project if you could, because there are certain types that have proven more difficult to get, and quite frankly I think Facebook is running out of patience with me, because I post in there.
She goes into Facebook jail like on at least
once a week. Yeah, I'm in Facebook jail, because you're only allowed to send a certain amount of messages to people and field a certain number of comments. And I have posted in, I think probably over 40 Facebook groups, MBTI groups. So, and I particularly we need sensors.
So bad.
And ENTJs. So over 1,000, there are certain groups that we have had over 100 of, and that's amazing. And I will still take more. We can still take more, because more data the better, but there are pretty much all of the intuitives except for ENTJs and ENFJs are over 100 now. So if you know those two, and ENFJs are really close. Oh, and ENFPs, you need those too. Sorry. Yeah. ENFPs, ENFJs. ENFJs are close. ENFPs are not. ENTJs are incredibly low. And that's unfortunate, because in reality, a lot of the INTJs I talk to are likely ENTJs, but again, I can't disagree with their typing, and part of me remaining faithful to my research is I don't do confirmation bias, so like I don't just automatically say, oh no, you're really an ENTJ, so you're going to go in this folder. I just set them aside for now. So
that's how there are 3,000 people that she's talked to, but there's only, the 1,031 that are actually able to be used with this data. Because of that, and we talk about this in our videos a lot, where a lot of people just test and they'll come to us saying like, I'm an INTJ-T, and
we're XNTJ,
right? And you just have to accept it and go with it. And so while that is unfortunate, it still has been amazing. And watching Jessie go through so much of this when it comes to interviewing, and just seeing how far she's come from like when we were first talking about others and personality types and everything, and then seeing
it's night and day.
It's crazy insane. So it's not to say that those other 2,000 people didn't mean anything. They meant everything. We just can't necessarily put them in the research. They can't be included. So that being said, ENFJ, ENTJ, ENFP, and sensors, pretty much all of them.
and some of the sensors are close. In particular, the ISTJ community has been freaking phenomenal. I can't tell you how many intuitives told me that the ISTJs would not be receptive, and that's just straight up nonsense. Every single time I ask the ISTJ group for anything, I do not get negative comments. I get amazing turnout and responses, and they're quick and they're kind, and the ISTPs are the same. So I'm actually pretty close on those two. So the ISFJs, I do need more, and the ISFJs who have responded have been incredibly awesome and very lovely. ESFJs are a very small number. I would like some more ESFJs, and then the ESTJ group had a really good turnout once, but that really good turnout only got up to, I think, in the 50s. So it would be helpful to have, I need more. So Amanda and I went back and forth on, do we cut the number? Do we lower it to 50?
So for a little bit of background, every video that we've posted so far, including that Welcome to Typecast Heroes, we have had a goal to release this data
right.
and to release, and so this is leading us into this 16 episode podcast, a podcast episode for each type. And for us to do that, we said we had to have 100 of each personality type, 100 of each of the 16. And so that's what we were going back and forth on. Is like, maybe we do
Lower
50
it.
or maybe we do 75 or...
What I've decided is no. I thought about it for a long time. I was like, do we cut the numbers and go forward with the podcast? And no. So it's been questioned, like, that seems like kind of an arbitrary goal, but the reason, I don't feel like what I'm looking for has been answered quite yet. So again, you can watch Welcome to Typecast Hero if you want to know the full thing of what I'm looking for, but just so you know, if you want to watch it from this one, because this is much better quality than the other one.
It really is. If you do go back and watch that first video, it was in the middle of quarantine. It was so hard. And we just like literally decided to just like dive in one day. We were just like, let's just do it. And so
we decided on May 1st and we filmed that video on, I think, May 4th.
May 4th, yeah.
So what I'm looking at is I'm comparing type, and particularly the cognitive functions. I'm more looking at cognitive functions than types specifically, but again, this is how we do this. Like the Myers-Briggs test is a type indicator because it tells you what cognitive functions you use. But I'm looking at the cognitive functions through the lens of the education system and all the things that would imply. So when you are giving me your answers, I am looking at not what you say, but how you say it. So I'm looking at things like, how do you structure an argument? How do you see yourself? How do you see your moral values? How do you, what is your ability to metacognate? Because all of those things have huge implications in the education system. And I have a master's degree in education, and they still are primarily teaching 3 main learning styles, which is visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. And yes, there are some facets that go into more nuanced instruction, but if you look at lesson plans, they still primarily focus on those 3 things. So what I'm looking at is I'm trying to see if I'm trying to prove that there is a basis for expanding the language, because if we started looking at this through the perceiving functions and considering how they work together with the judging functions to impact a person's interpretation of their environment, that could have huge implications for the education system, and it should, which is why you'll hear us mention it in videos about how certain types get more easily distracted than others. Certain types have to filter things through the lens of their experience, so they are more building block learners.
Yep.
And there will be an actual paper at the end of all of this about all of the things that was seen. So it is not just, it's not arbitrary to me that I want 100 of each type, and it may seem that way to others. And I kindly disagree. And so if you want to help us out, get the sensors in your life and the other types that we mentioned, the ENFJ, ENFP, ENTJ, convince them to sit down. It does not take very long.
It really doesn't. And it's such a positive experience at the end of the day. Like, you're talking about yourself, which normally for 90% of the population is something that people enjoy doing. And we've had a lot of feedback it's almost like you are kind of learning about yourself. You're being asked questions and you're having to think of yourself in ways that you never have. Like, you're having to introspect in ways that you haven't, or you're having to answer to what your values are. I know when I went down that path trying to figure it out, I was like, I've literally never once thought about this. I had never thought about it. It blew my mind. It blew my mind that I had values. All right. So we've had a lot of positive feedback. And it's almost like a little mini counseling session in certain ways for certain people. So it's a positive experience, hopefully for all of you. And it's unbelievably helpful for us. And again, at the end of the day, we just so wholeheartedly believe in everything that we're doing, and that it is making the world a better place. As crazy as that sounds, one person, us affecting one person, or you guys affecting us, we will continue carrying that on through our communication with others. And that's so huge.
Yes. I can't even find the words when I think about it, and all the people that I've had the joy of helping people discern their type, and that is one of my favorite things to do, is to be like a type guide. I'm not MBTI certified, but probably I soon will be. And helping people through that process, there's no words.
No words.
No, I've had the pleasure of doing that with, since I started, probably 50 or so people who've done like a long-term process with me. And I know that that's like, it's just the thing. And so every year, so if you want to continue following Typecast Heroes, every year we are going to be doing a different data set. So this year was primarily focused on the education system, and then next year I will do it all over again and find a new thing to study.
Y'all, we have like 10 years worth of information that we want to get out and questions we want to ask. And, you know, just like this data set is all about the education system. Well, we have plans to do relationships at some point, and
mental health,
body image. So much. We just have so much, and it's never ending. It really isn't. And so this journey that we've started, and having you guys here with us, that's why it means so much. It's like, this isn't a short-term, one-year thing. We get these interviews and then we're done. It's going to continue and continue and continue. And this is something that for us is essentially lifelong. So having you here with us is
indescribable.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, thank you guys. And I really like this project. I'm just going to brag on Amanda for 5 seconds because I can do that every now and again. I can stop being sarcastic because she gets to do what she does best, which is encourage people to be the best versions of themselves. And I have a hard time doing that. I am very much like, you do you, but she is very much like, I see who you could be, and like, I wouldn't even be here if she hadn't. So I can't wait to see how she inspires you guys to change and be the best versions of yourself as we continue on. Right?
Jessie thinks that she needs me for this project, and she
Yes,
absolutely does not.
I could not do it alone. I couldn't.
She's incredible, and all of you who have talked to her know this. So I just love you so much.
I know. It's gross.
It really is gross.
15 years going strong.
So long. And I love it so much. And I'm still, y'all, I'm not bored of her yet. And if you know any NE users, you know that
it's quite impressive.
That is probably like the highest praise that I could possibly
get. We talk literally
all day, every day. Yes.
And we have for years. Yeah. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I've told some of you this, but like, we literally talk on our way to work and our way home from work every
single day.
Like, it's not an exaggeration. Like,
that's where this came to be. Like, that's
our morning messages.
Yeah, that was how this came to be. And we have been through more than most friendships have been through. And I say that confidently. I don't say that in a cocky way.
No, it's like accurate, guys.
Totally accurate. You don't even know. So it's just this, it just means, God, I can't even explain how much it means to us. I really can't. And I hope at some point that we get to do something live and we get to like meet you all and hug you and love on you and just show you guys all the support.
I would like to, I'll shake your hand, I'll wave at you.
She'll sit back here and, you know, be her special unicorn. So anyways, we just want to give you a project update. We wanted to tell you guys how much we love you and just how unbelievably grateful we are to have you on this journey with us. And that's about it.
So we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.